Hey guys, it's me, Will Patterson, here again with another Photoshop tutorial today. Now I'm going to be working on a big tutorial today, so sorry if it takes long, but I hope you guys like it. Now I'm in the Christmas feeling, so I created this flyer for my youth group that I help at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I did it. Now it's a very typographic one, so you'll need the fonts, but you'll see them up in the font section. Right, so if you want to download this, you can go into my Patreon website, and if you support me, this will be a free download for you, so you just have to change it if you want to use it. And you can get the textures and the fonts there, and all the shapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this again, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So I'm going to go to File, New, and I'm going to create a new A6 flyer. Now this is A6, not A4, and that means it's a flyer. So I'm going to go to International Paper, make sure A6 is checked, and I'm going to make sure it's 300 dpi, and the color mode is CMYK for printing. I'm going to press OK. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab a swatch here. Now the color code, if you want to make the swatch, is B99A65, and you'll get the exact color in the swatches panel. I'm going to then press Alt and Backspace, which will create the color in the background. And on my layers panel, I'm going to go ahead and press Alt and double click on the background. Then I'm going to just change the name to background, or BG. And then I'm going to create a couple guides. So I'm going to press Command R. And then I'm going to drag one out and it'll snap into the center of this layer. Drag another one out, snap. Then I'm going to press Command R to get rid of that. Then go to View and make sure Lock Guides is enabled so we don't move the guides or anything. Awesome, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press Command B, and then I'm going to go to Pattern Overlay. So the first thing I want to do is create this pattern here. Not that one, but this one. And then I'm going to go to Normal and Multiply. This pattern here is a subtle grunge one. You can find one online. I'm going to press OK. Now I want to create another pattern over this, so I'm going to go ahead and make a new layer. There's multiple ways you can do this, but I'm going to create a new layer, do the same thing. So I'm going to backspace it, press Command B, or right click to get to the blending options, pattern overlay, and I'm going to bring this new circle one in. Now I created this one earlier, and I'll show you how to do that in a second, but I'm going to size this down with my arrows, with my arrow keys, like so. So it's about there. Awesome, so we have a new thing, and I'm going to go ahead and right click on this layer and press Create Layer, and this will create a separate layer for the layer style. Then I'm going to press Alt and get rid of this clipping mask, and then I'm going to go put this layer in the bin. This here now, I'm going to go press Overlay. So this is going to overlay on top, and then I'm going to bring the opacity right down to right here. So we have this sort of pattern. The way I created this pattern was I created a new file. I made sure it was in pixels, and I went to 500 by 500. If we can do it right. And then I think my graphics tablet pen is coming undone, and I don't know why. What the heck just happened there? Right, so then what I did is I created a new shape. So I went to my Ellipse Tool, created a circle, made sure that the circle didn't have a stroke, and then it had a white fill. I took the background layer, I hid it, and then I pressed Command A to select the canvas, went to my selection tool, and horizontally and vertically aligned it. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. And then what I did is I went to Edit with the background taken off, Edit, Define Pattern, and then I named it and pressed OK, and it was in my patterns presets. If you have this on my, if you have the file and you want the pattern for later use, all you need to do is, if you're on this file, is go to the background layer, find the pattern, and press this thing here, which will create a pattern within your library. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to create this typographic elevate bit here. So I'm going to press T to get my type options up. Now this could take a while for me. So I'm going to press Elevate, and I might have a different font. So I'm going to press Elevate, and you won't see anything because my foreground color is the same as the background. So I'm going to change it to a black for now, and then I'm going to change the font after I scale it up. So I'm going to change the font to a font called Headliner. Now this font is free and you can search for it online. Now I'm going to change it to Headliner and scale it back down a bit and make sure it's in line. So we've got that. These two deers, basically, I'll show you how to do them in an illustrated video. It's image tracing. Okay, so we've got that, and I'm going to get the color actually from Elevate here. So I'm going to right click to get to Elevate layer, and I'm going to go press T to get to my type tool, go to the color, I'm going to copy this. If you want to copy it as well, it's 983538. The reason why I don't have it on here is because I did it on my laptop. So I'm going to go create another color swatch for that after going to my color picker and pasting it into the hex code. And then I'm going to create a new swatch, red. Awesome, so I'm going to change this color to red. Amazing. And then I'm going to put this above the layer here. For the background layer, I'm just going to group these two together and just call it background and change the color to yellow so I remember it for later. Awesome, so I'm going to make sure this is aligned by pressing Command A and vertically aligning it. It seems like it already is. And I'm going to get rid of my guide, pressing Command and semicolon. Going to go check back here. So what we need to do is we need to create a new layer or a new text layer. So I'm going to call this one Christmas. So I'm going to literally go into my layer here, make sure I'm on my selection tool, and then I'm going to press Alt and then drag down holding Shift. Then I'm going to change the text by pressing T and clicking on it to Christmas. So I've changed that to Christmas and I'm going to scale it up a bit. And also what I did is I made it more condensed. Now you don't want to do this with every font, but I did it anyway. So what I did was I just brought this down a tiny bit. Let's get rid of that. Tiny bit to make it more condensed. Then I press V, move it around, free transformed it to make sure it looks okay, and then I'm going to reference it with here. So I brought this down a bit more. So it is stretching the font to make it more condensed for my liking. Awesome. Right, so I don't actually know what font this is. It is missing text font. Its layers is Dolly Script Personal, so I don't have this on my computer, but we can use a different font. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer and call this Party. Now if you don't have Dolly like me, then you can go and download it. I think it's on defont.com. And I'm going to go and change this to, I think I'll change it to Wisdom Script. So I'm going to go, now I've got all my caps on, so I'm going to turn all caps off. And then maybe change this to Pacifico. Yeah, that'll do for now. Awesome. And then I'm just going to bring this closer in together. And then I'm going to bring the P up a bit. Awesome. Bring these closer in. That looks good to me, and I'm going to bring this down. I think that looks nice. Now the problem is what we see here is we have like this sort of outline stroke here, so you can differentiate it from the Christmas part here. So this is very vintage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up, and we can do this in two ways. We can either delete a part of the Christmas thing with a mask, or we can create a stroke. I'm going to create a stroke at first. So I'm going to bring up my layer styles, bring up a stroke options. I'm going to size this up to what I want it. So about here. And then I'm going to go to my color options here and press this swatch, which will give this stroke, and then we can bring it down if we so choose. That's one way of doing it. A way I prefer doing it is by pressing Command and then going to Party, and then at Christmas I'm going to select the layer Christmas, go up to Selection, Modify and Expand, and we're going to expand this. It's on my other computer, so we're going to expand this by, let's say 4. Okay, we'll expand it a bit more. So modify, expand by another 3. Awesome. Then we're going to go to Christmas layer, press Alt, and then go to our layer masks, and it'll mask it out just like so on the Christmas layer, so we can see the background through it. Awesome. So what I'm then going to do is I'm going to put some more guides up. So press Command semicolon to get them up. And you see this Christmas part here. I'm going to press Command R, and then it's going to snap straight to Christmas, like so. So we want everything to line up within Christmas, or just below it, and stuff like that. Get rid of that. Get rid of the guides again. So with Christmas, we've got from here. Now this text part here on Christmas, we're going to just go to Elevate, bring this down, say from. And then the text that I used, or the font that I used, sorry, was Tall, Dark and Handsome. So I'm going to press Tall. It's just here. From defont.com again. Then I'm going to bring this up and make sure it aligns. I've got my smart guides on, so View and then smart guides are in here. So I'm going to change the color to this, and I'm going to find out the color by coming to the text here. Now the color is 4B412E. I'm going to press Command C to copy it, escape to get rid of it, and then come onto my new layer here, and then I'm going to just go and change the color, pasting it in like so. And for quick access, I'm going to make another swatch. So I'm going to press L, paste this in, go to my swatches, go as brown so we can just click it later. I like the look of this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go below and create this part here. So we're going to go from 7 PM, which should be a different color. It should be the red color. See how quick that was? It was really quick to change the color. We're going to do 7 PM till, we'll just take that, or should we just take party actually? We'll take party. Till, bring this down, and you can see where I'm coming from with this. Sorry, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just playing around with it really, making sure it looks alright. 7 PM, I think we can bring these both up a bit, and then yep, 7 PM, and then change this to brown. 7 PM, and then I'm going to copy this over to 9 PM, making sure it's aligned by using my arrow tools. That looks okay. And then ages 11 to 18. So I'm going to come here. Oops. Make sure it's left in line centered. Just go pick a space. What did I write? Ages 11 to 18. Ages 11 to 18. And here I'm going to change this color to a green. So the green that we used was on here, and the layer or the hex code was 03582D. And I'm going to just copy this into here like so, and then press shift, go here, change it to green, then I've got the swatch saved forever. Oops, no I don't. Go here, change that to green, go into here and change it. So we've got all these swatches now. I'm going to get rid of this brown because we don't need that, and then I'm going to go here, change that to green, and we've got it. So it's in green. And then what we want to do is we want to select all these and then create a group. So till needs to be around here somewhere. From till age 7, we don't need that. I'm trying to work out which one. Create a group, yep. And then time, we'll call it time, and we'll change this here. This just keeps us more organized. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to work out where to put free. So free, we're going to copy from Christmas here. So Alt again, so we're copying this down, and then we see we've got Christmas copy with a layer mask on it. So we're going to go down and delete it, because otherwise we have this sort of cutout from party. So we're going to go ahead and delete it in the bin, change this to free, and we're going to expand this up. And then we might need our guides out. So we've got that. We might need to bring it up a bit as well. Like so. And then we're going to just center it in the center. Like that. So we've got that, and it's perfectly aligned. So with everything here, I'm going to bring this all down a little bit. And then bring it up. Then I'm going to go ahead and change the color of free to this nice green that we used before. And then what else do we need to do? So we need to create these things here, and I'm going to show you that in an Illustrator video. So I'm going to just copy it over by going to the deer and copying it over into here. This is a shape, so it's a vector shape. I'm not too sure how I did this. Okay, so elevate needs to be smaller by far. Get the guides up. It needs to remain in the guides. So about here. Elevate needs to remain smaller again. So center it, make it smaller. Make it bigger. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this again, copy it over, press Command T, and if you right click, you can flip it horizontally. So it just reflects it. Awesome. So that bit's done there. Now what we need to do is create a bauble. So I'm going to go ahead and group these two deers together. So here's the deers. And then I'm going to actually elevate down a bit. And I think that looks okay there. And then the party bit could have come down a bit because we've got a bit of empty space, or we could put something in there. Okay, so we're going to use a bauble because it's Christmassy. We want a bauble in there, and it's basically just a circle. Now you see within this bauble we have this shape here. I'm going to press here and go to the baubles if I can find it. Anyway, here we go. So we've got a shape in the baubles. So all I'm going to do is we're going to go and just create part of this and then show you in Illustrator how to create the rest. So I'm going to go ahead, group all these together, go up and make a new layer and make a circle like so. Making sure there's no stroke as of yet, and then make it red because it needs to go onto the free part. Now we're going to go and check here. So we've got December 20th. So I used a different font here that I don't have on my computer again because it's on my laptop. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create, I guess, a new font. I'm just going to say December like so. Make sure it's above so we can see it. Make sure that the font is the same as the background. Change the font to something different, maybe to this. Take off caps. December, not the best font, but it'll do for now. December, copy this down. 20th, oh, we don't have that. Change the font here to Wisdom Script or Mission Script if you can find it. You're probably wondering, man, this is a long tutorial. Yes, it is. It's meant to be. That's better. We don't need that 1st December one. We'll get rid of that. So we use December here. Copy this down. Then 20th. And with the 20th, I'm going to just go ahead and select the earth and then bring it down like so. Make it smaller like that. And we have that, so I'm going to go ahead and group them as a bauble. And then we've got that shape done there. So I'm going to bring this down a bit here. And then with the bauble part, we could actually create this in Photoshop, but it takes a lot longer. So I'm just going to go to the bauble, or the cap even, and I'll have this shape. So I'm just going to solo it for us here. So this shape here is the bauble cap. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring this up. Take this bauble cap, zoom in a bit, and then use the arrow keys to come up a bit so you can see it. And all I did after that was press P, used a line, took the fill off, added a stroke of 1, and then I changed the stroke settings and more options to be in the center of the path. Then we can bring this down a bit on with the direct selection tool. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to group these two together, top, and put that within the group like so. I'm going to bring this down a bit. Actually bring this middle, copy them into there, the top part, bring this down. And with the whole group, move it along. Making sure that the bauble part, making sure that we don't have this running through there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this right down so it just finishes at the 18 part. So zoom in, because we want it to remain within the layers. Awesome. So that's sort of the rough idea of what I did. Now I did sort of rush it a bit, but you can get my drift. Now this has been a long tutorial, and I don't really do stuff like this, but if you liked it, then give it a thumbs up. I've forgotten to do something actually. I've sort of rushed it a bit. So what I'm going to do is with this top shape, with the middle shape here, this square, I'm going to do the same thing I did for everything else. So I'm going to find out the group, the big one, and you see 3. I'm just going to colour that in with a blue. Then I'm going to select, because we need to differentiate it from 3 a bit more, so I'm going to go to select, modify, expand. We're going to go 6, then in 3, go ahead, bring that to a shutdown there. Then we've got that. And that's it. That's sort of the rough idea. So if you like this tutorial, then give it a thumbs up. This is a Christmas tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.